Okay, gang, today we're working on a Honda Pioneer 700, and today's project, we're just going to be installing a winch on the front of it. 3,500 pound Badland winch from Harbor Freight. Shouldn't be too big of a deal, so try to take you through the steps of the process and see if we can get it done. Alright, so this is the winch he decided to go with. Got the Badland 3,500. For this Pioneer, we had to order a special bracket kit to mount to the bumper, Extreme Max Products. And the customer that dropped it off, he already kind of started the process, but he actually told me he couldn't get the bumper bolts broke loose. He didn't have enough strength, so he brought it to me. So he already started putting the bracket together for me. So on this step here, you mount your winch to the bottom bracket here. Go ahead and put your cable plug on there, the cable guide. You see it sits in such a direction here, and these brackets here will go on your bumper. I'll show you that when I pull the bumper off. The circuit breaker here, I'll actually take this apart and use marine grease to waterproof it a little bit better, because they don't come with anything in them, and I notice they get rust in them. Got the toggle switch here, remote plug there. So yeah, let me get this bumper out. To get started on this bumper, you got a 14 millimeter here, and you got these are 12 millimeters here. So what I did was just use a wrench on the top and a socket on the bottom. Alright, so we got the bumper off, and I failed to mention that on the bottom of that bumper there's two 10 millimeter bolts, one here and here. Then the bumper comes off pretty easy. And then those two brackets that I showed you, the two brackets that go on here, I'm pre-installing it to the bumper instead of into the front of the frame. I'm gonna try it this way. Then it comes with new hardware that goes into your frame bolts right here. It comes with new hardware. It's just a little bit longer, because this plate right here, it's actually gonna slide in between the frame here. So the spot there, it'll slide onto the frame. I had to swap out these bolts. I don't know what the customer did with the bolts, but he lost the original nuts for them. They won't thread down. So we'll try this method out. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll slide in there pretty easy. I might have to get my wife to help me, but yeah. So far that's what we got. I finished tightening these up somewhat, not all the way, because I'm gonna have to take these out actually to get back on the frame. But just want to give you a little update. We got it in there. It wasn't too big of a deal to get it in there, but I had to take those bolts back out. I basically had them in there just to hold it in place while I put them brackets on. But we got everything in place right now. I'm not gonna tighten it all up, but it lines up pretty good, you know. So I'm impressed with that. The free spool is kind of tucked in there, but that's the way it is on this design. So I'll get that cable pulled out of here. It's zip tied in. I should have done that already, but get that cable popped out of there, get it free spooled, and then we'll start on the wiring. Okay, we're gonna move over to the electrical. This right here is your winch solenoid. The 2,500 pounds don't come with one of these, so I learned that after doing a couple of them. But this one here, color coded. You got your black for your black wire, yellow here for your yellow wire, blue here for your blue wire, and red for your power. You know, then you got your circuit breaker here. You got your controller here, which is plug and play to your remote plug here. This red is basically like your remote or auxiliary wire, I believe. Then you got three wires here coming off of it. One with a bigger end, it's gonna go in the middle on your ground on your solenoid, and then you got the black and green. So they got it pretty much laid out. The biggest part of it is just routing everything, you know, and getting it all mounted up. So I'll see what I can do and make it as easy as possible. All right, now we're back up to the front. And again, on the front of the winch, instead of red and black, like most people would suspect, it's blue and yellow. And I've already got started. I put my wire connector, my wire protector on the blue and yellow. I'll go ahead and get these connected and then start running my best route up through here. progress. I got everything hooked up to my solenoid. So if you don't have the instructions, looking at it from this way, the green goes on this far end, the white one's gonna go in the middle, black one goes to this end. And note to self on this white one, it has a bigger loop, but it don't fit down in there. So you basically have to bend it just a little bit to get it to fit down in there on that white one. But that white one goes there, green here, black on the end. I got my red tied into my auxiliary right there in the middle. So there's two wires coming off of that auxiliary plug. It's 12 volt, which is your cigarette lighter. The black and white one is the one I've tapped into with my red coming off my solenoid switch, which is your power wire. So tapped into that, I had to look online to figure that out. But yeah, I tapped into that little switch there, so maybe I'll hit the right one. I don't know. We'll check it out and see. Now with everything situated around front, I'm gonna come around here, disconnect the battery cables. Go ahead and get that up. Hopefully nothing catches on fire. I got my plug here. You have to make that hole pretty big to get the little splitter. It's like a wire that goes over to your toggle switch, and then one that goes to the connector. So you gotta make that hole pretty big to get that thing in there, but that spot should cover it up. Put some screws in there. Got my toggle switch over on this side. I just use the factory screws that go into the handlebar, that handlebar spot. I just use them, went all the way through, put some nuts on the other side. Got that in there. Put a hole here. Put a hole right behind the switch, ran it through. Kind of ugly, but you can't really see it unless you're looking for it. Yeah, I get the battery connectors unplugged and hook that stuff up and see what happens. All right, we got everything buttoned up. Got the battery in there connected. Nothing popped on me, so I'm good with that. So I can't set up the camera, but turn that on. Got the winch cable pulled out. Got the hook on it. Got everything tightened down on the bumper. My wiring looks like crap, but I got most of it zip tied off. I still need to mount this. I actually changed my positioning on that. It won't reach here with the power. The red wire won't reach, so I'm gonna have to put some self tappers right here. Mount it down to that frame. Everything tied up in there. My splice here on the auxiliary worked. So I got the key switch on. We'll try the toggle switch out. I hear it working. In, I hear that working. Got the remote hooked up. Alright, looks like we got action, y'all, man. Pretty cool with that. So go through, make sure I got everything tightened up, double check everything, and call this guy and tell him to come pick it up. And I'm sorry if I left out any details on it, man, but if you got any questions, you can comment. If you got anything else you want to see done, man, let me know in the comments, bro, and I appreciate you. Thanks for checking in. Peace.